the divergence that you have seen is not just in advanced economies. You have also seen divergence in emerging market economies. But also emerging market economies fared much better than in previous episodes. And what had been the distinguishing factor? What made the emerging markets resilient? First had been the issue of policy frameworks. Inflation targeting does work. And in countries that had implemented inflation targeting flexibly and more robustly, they had been able to fare much better. And I think that it is that explained why emerging markets were the first ones to start tightening monetary policy before advanced economies work. If you are an emerging market central bank, you are used to volatility of output and inflation. And when you see inflation beginning to rise, you know it is coming. You have to run surveys and try to impute these things from market expectations. Bottom line is that once the public starts talking about the high cost of living, you know that inflation has become a problem. And what has become also useful had been a global public survey that was done by a surveying company that actually established that the public has become increasingly intolerable of inflation. But something happened in South Africa that I never thought would happen before, which happened in 2022, where there was a public demonstration against the high cost of living. Interestingly, that public demonstration didn't come to the central bank, it went to the presidency. I almost wanted to say wrong address, you should have come here, and then I would have shown you what to do with that. A second point had been that the divergence in emerging markets has not just been about the stance of monetary policy. It also had to do with the policy experience. Those who had bad policies fared really bad during this episode, and those who didn't have buffers actually suffered. And unfortunately, those who do not have buffers, even if they had good policies, they suffered. But it had to do in the main because these were really developing countries and low-income countries. The third point that explained the resilience had been that the U.S. response to this episode was also good. You might say that they acted late, but when they acted resolutely, which meant that global inflation peaked at lower rates compared to what we saw in the 70s, but also policy didn't have to tighten as much as it happened in the 70s, and as such didn't quite experience a recession. And the last point, class, that I would like to make, since we are focused on financial stability, I say to my chaps in the financial stability department, I pay you for one thing. So don't come here and tell me things are okay. Tell me what to worry about. So I'm trying to find something that I could worry about. And I asked them, what should I worry about? And the one thing that had come, class, is what could actually go wrong? And the question that then comes to me had to do with the levels of debt and the trajectory that the debt could follow. To put it into context, the OECD Global Debt Report states that debt in OECD, bond market debt in OECD countries in 2024 will rise to $56 trillion. If you take that back to 2008, it's an increase of $30 trillion. Of that debt, 40% is maturing within the next 3 years, and that is sovereign debt. Corporate debt, 37% of that is maturing within the next 3 years. So whether it is repaid or it is refinanced, and I think most likely it would be refinanced, is going to be refinanced at rates that are higher than what that debt was raised. And that could raise potential issues. And my question to you, Klaas, with you being the chair of the Financial Stability Board, but also being the governor of a central bank in the Euro system, is to what extent you are concerned about the financial stability risks that could emanate from this elevated debt situation and the trajectory that it follows.